Hi everyone, welcome to your January 2024 reading. Yay! We are technically in the first week of January, I believe, right? It's January 8th. But now is feeling like the perfect time to do this reading for you. And I can already feel that there's going to be an energetic healing component to it. So we're going to do some energy shifting as well. If you've been following my channel, thank you very much for watching, then you may well remember that the guides mentioned maybe last month or 2 months ago, maybe even November, October, maybe, yeah, no, as early as October, they were mentioning about how over the next few months that light workers slash star seeds or anyone who has service contracts really in that line of reasoning, you are being asked to ready yourselves to be in position basically for around the month of April, which would shake out, yeah, to about April and May. And now, of course, we've been doing that. So I don't know how things have been going for you guys, but there have been a lot of clearings, a lot of stop and goes. What I'm feeling in this community here is that for whoever that message was for, I'm feeling that I just saw this image of a shoebox. So that's for somebody, like a shoebox. It doesn't need to have shoes in it, by the way, but there's a box. And the energy that I'm feeling is like a lot of stop and goes. The stop meaning you were going on one track and then boom, boom, stop. And now you've been moved to another track. So wherever you were on before, it stopped. And now you're going forward on a whole other track altogether. So a lot of major endings and new beginnings is what I'm getting. But yes, I've been doing, going through my own process with all of that, and I'm sure you guys have been as well. And I'd kind of not forgotten about that call for light workers and star seeds to move into position, or like a new class. It almost felt like a new class almost to move into position. But I was just on YouTube the other day and I saw Lee Harris. Do you guys love Lee Harris as well? I love Lee Harris, 2 minutes, 22 seconds. Check him out. Lee Harris, Lee Harris. I was just watching YouTube, looking at YouTube videos, and I saw that he put out a video called, I think it's called The Rise of the Light Worker, and boom, it came back to me. So if you feel like the message that the guides mentioned pertains to you, and that you're amongst that group of people who are being called to get into position to start to mobilize around April and May, whatever that means for you in particular, then I would invite you to check out his video, which I have not looked at yet, but the video title kind of gave me a feeling like it's related. So please do go ahead and check that out. Also, if you'd like to work more personally with me, you know exactly where to find me. We do teaching, healing, and motivating / mentoring. So you can find me at my Etsy link. And yeah, that's that. So let's jump into January. Let's see what the energies are looking like. I do want to say that as I was coming on, I was feeling a little bit of a toxicity in the space, in the air, in the field. And so I ended up pulling 2 cards, and I see it here. So here we have this lookout card, boom, where this ship is on fire and this guy's like looking out like, oh my God. And then we have all this water. Guess what we need in order to put this flame out? Boom, water. So and look at that. 7 minus 1 is 6. And it's interesting because I pulled this card out first. And then this card. You would think that this card would come first and then we would douse it. But actually, it almost seems like they want to respect the order in which these things have come out for whatever reason. So either way, it shakes out to a 6 and 6. So I'm trying to feel, could this have been... As I feel into this, okay, this is very specific. I guess I have to get nuanced about this. As I feel into this, what seems to be you having to take a step backward is actually not the case. I feel that some of you may have been sent on a little bit of a side quest of some sort in your life. So that could manifest in your physical as you helping someone else 4 minutes, 44 seconds to do something. Maybe somebody's needing help with their house. Maybe their house is under a lien of some sort and you're helping them with paperwork. That's just some random example, which may or may not be for someone in particular. But something like this where you are, it's not your house, so to speak, figuratively, that's under fire. It's somebody else's and you're assisting them. And now I see it's almost like this ship moving backward a little bit for you to hop onto another ship, which is your actual ship, and then head into your waters, right? So this is giving me this idea that wherever you find yourself, oh, and they're saying you will be paid very well. So very handsomely, to be more specific with the translation, be paid very handsomely. So some of you here may have been doing a little bit of double duty is what I'm getting. You may have been assisting friends, family members, or just somehow getting involved, kids, and getting involved with something that really doesn't have anything to do with you. And I'm trying to see if, and they're showing me the shoes again. For some of these, shoes is a big connection here, just so they let you know, hey, we're talking to you. But I'm wondering if at the conscious mind level you're even aware of that, because sometimes we our souls mobilize us to be in certain times and places with certain people to have certain experiences, and we may think, oh, I made a mistake here and this is why I got myself into this, or this is how things shook out, or oh wow, whatever. You may attribute wherever you are, whatever you're experiencing, to your own actions, when actuality it was by higher design that you were mobilized in order to be a presence in wherever you were. Now, the universe doesn't really care about the details. So you may walk away, the whole court system may walk away making it look like it was you were the problem, but actually you were the solution here. For example, when I say that the universe doesn't really care about the details like that, a good example of something like that would be where what would be a good example? A good example would be something where maybe you ended up getting into, not you, I'm just giving you an example, where somebody may end up getting into an accident with another car, right? And, it was by the courts of law, it's your fault. And so you end up having to pay for that, and maybe your insurance goes up and blah, blah, blah. And maybe you get a little bit of public shaming or whatever, depending on the details. But remember, it doesn't matter the details. This is the example that I'm giving, right? The universe doesn't care about the details. But from a higher perspective, you were the solution, because had you not plowed into that other car for whatever reason, that other car may have been involved in an accident later that could have taken the lives of 5 people in another vehicle. And it would have been their fault, that other car. So you were actually sent in to help deliver some situation from something that could have been worse. That's an example. Another example of the universe not caring about the details is one where, for example, it's happened before where, and it's also happened to me before, actually. This is funny. Now that I think about it, it's happened before where when you look at a relationship's demise, it looks like, oh, this person left me, or they rejected me, or I wasn't good enough and they didn't want me, or just whatever, or they saw something about me and they left, they told me no. But then when I look into your reading, for example, you're the person example here, I look in and I'm like, oh no, from the perspective of spirit, you were the one who called this quits. You didn't call it quits in the physical. You called it quits where it matters, in the non-physical. So always remember, when a decision is made, it's not the physical. We're not making decisions here in the physical per se. We're making decisions in the non-physical, and anything that happens in the non-physical must come to pass in the physical. So if you don't like what you see in your physical, you have to reverse engineer, do your shadow work, do all of that, keep it 100% with yourself, and really get into that deeper core work to see how it is that some decisions you're making at a higher level of the field are precipitating and into the environment that you have made for yourself, right? And as you know, on this channel, we're all about really taking some personal responsibility. So sometimes from the 3D level of perspective, it depending on where you are in your story about what's going on, your narrative, if you're in victim consciousness, or if you're literally still in the healing stage, like you're more in a triage stage and whatnot, you're not going to want to be in a space where you're like reflecting and looking at how you may have made certain decisions, whatever, right? And to be honest, sometimes it's very difficult for us to see that at this level anyway, because sometimes a decision you made at age 10 could have put you on a track all the way that led to something happening at 32, right? This is just how it happens. And look, don't kill the messenger. I'm just here like bringing through information. And it's not about blaming ourselves or getting into this idea of victim blaming. No, it's about taking a different approach to looking at what's happening, right? Which may or may not be what is you need at this time. But if you're on this channel and you follow my work, chances are it is the kind of mindset that you take. But another good example is of the universe not being into details. Being into the details is, for example, if something ends, whether it's a job or the energy is like separation in a non-physical, it doesn't matter how it comes to pass in the physical. For example, maybe in one timeline you end up getting fired from that company, in another timeline you end up getting laid off, in another timeline you end up leaving it, right? So this is what I'm saying. Like God is into details, the devil is in details, who knows? But the universe doesn't care about those details sometimes. So bringing it back to this larger discussion, what I was saying with those examples is that if this message is for you so far in the month of I want to say February, I keep feeling February energy is already coming in, so I want to acknowledge that. 11 minutes 22 seconds. But here in the month of February and also in the month of January, because it's energy, it just is, you may have found yourself or may find yourself in a position where it may even seem like it's you, that it's your ship that is burning, your house is on fire, you have whatever. But Spirit is saying, actually, you may have been sent in to be the solution and you're not the problem. All right. And they're adding a little extra caveat here. The example, sometimes just to exemplify that a little further, you go through something tough in your life. Why? It's not because of karma, not because anything, but because you are slated to one day turn around and help other people move through that same situation. So that's an example, 12 minutes, 12 seconds, that they're pulling out to show you it's not always your fault. Right? And so the beautiful thing that we have here, just to summarize this here, is that I find you guys here in this energy of, of house is on fire, or you may have come out of it, or you may be heading into some kind of thing. It doesn't even have to be big, but I see you stepping out of it soon. And this, whatever this is from beginning to end, may serve about 3 months of time. Not like 3 months of intensity, but it'll begin and end within a 3-month period, and that's it. And then you will be equipped to do whatever it is that you need to do. I was going to say want to do, but I'm getting need to do, because now we're finding ourselves, look at that 11, connecting with our guides. We're finding ourselves in the middle of mission time. Okay, it's no longer what you want to do, it's what you need to do, because now is the time to work, which makes sense because we started off talking about how in a few months it'll be time to quote unquote get to work. Okay. Somebody here, I just got an energy like your big brother. There's a big brother that's interfering with things in some sense. Now, if that message is for you, super specific, and maybe that's the detail for that, but maybe for that energy of some older energy or some energy that is higher interfering. I'm getting interceding, even interfering. It could be for some of you that it's a boss in the details, right? A boss, another family member, whatever, cousin, but they're highlighting an older brother for somebody here. So if your older brother or whoever is interfering with something, I'm getting that will work itself out in less than 4, I wanted to say 4 weeks, but I heard 4 months. So it depends on who you are, but it'll work itself out. Okay. I get that you don't have to do anything. Ooh, as far as that is concerned, anything. And that almost just solidified what they said, because whenever I get this card, 14 minutes, 14 seconds, this card is the open energy card, where it's like you have full creative control. It's a reminder to be mindful of what you put out into the universe so that you can be more happy with what it is that you manifest for yourself. But you see how it literally flipped out of my hands and turned over, just as they were saying, there's nothing you need to do at all. So if some of you are dealing with some institution or an actual person, whether it's your big brother or a boss or some other whatever, and they seem to be interfering, creating disruption of something in your path, that is not actually going to be the case. I see that you may have a perception, and it'll be a false one. You may have a perception that they're interfering. I keep wanting to hear interceding, but interfering in your pathway forward. I'm here to tell you that's not actually the truth. Okay? Cool. And here we have this victory card, but it looks a little bit like you're in a waiting period. So some of you in this month may find yourself in this waiting period. It could be, it's not even like a liminal state. Or stagnation or anything. The best analogy would be like you're waiting to go into some office and you're just standing in the waiting room. It's just you. And it's not even like, oh, sir, can you please have a seat? This person who you're waiting for is in a meeting. It's not even like that. It's like, oh, this person will see you now, but they've just run to the restroom. If you don't mind waiting about 2 or 3 minutes, you're like, okay. So that's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of waiting period. And it's interesting that they said 2-3 minutes. It's giving us vibes to, again, April, May, right? So right now we find ourselves waiting for a little short time as we go into things. Now, the next meeting, okay, wow, meeting, okay, I guess we have some new guides coming in for the next message. God is good. The next thing that I want to say, literally new guides, right? Look at this. Boom. What I want to say is the next message. Oh, the next meeting also. Some of you, look at the Ace of Cups. It's a love card. But I was going to say the next message that's coming in is dun, 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 don't get distracted. By who? You know his name. Just kidding. So some of you, during this period, do not get distracted. Watch your distractions. If you should be here studying and learning, don't get caught up with these petty contracts, with energies coming in to throw you off your game, right? So if you follow me, you know I really like to read at the higher levels of the field, so I don't really like to get into the he said, she said stuff, unless it's a personal reading, then we all have been there. But here, I don't want to get into, oh, this person's throwing black magic, and that person's intervening, and that person's, right? Those are just manifestations. Those are forms, people, places, things, situations, ideas that ride along the energetic frequency you've got going on for yourself. So if you don't like any of those forms manifesting in your reality, then you got to go and check yourself from a higher level of the field, your core beliefs, all of that, to make the shift so that you can create different circumstances for yourself in the physical. Now, is that like your run-of-the-mill, I'm going to make a vision board? No, you have to do your inner work, your shadow work. And if you're like, but Jay, you can come see me, right? But other than that, you can find a way to do it. You can turn to your left and right and ask your spirit guides, hit it guides, and they will start to bring information into you, right? So it's all about your choice of whether to move forward on a track that is for your healing and your health and well-being, or to move forward on a fear-based track where there's a lot of distraction. As A Course in Miracles teaches us, you don't have to have the details. Spirit does not expect you to have the wherewithal to have the details, because as far as that text is concerned, if this message is for you, the mind is the issue. The mind is corrupt. So how can you ask the mind, the corrupt mind, to heal the corrupt mind? It doesn't work. So you will never be asked by Spirit to make some big decision down here. You may think you're being asked to make some big decision down here, but you can't make any big decisions down here. You're making decisions on another level of the field, and they're coming to pass here in the physical, to the point that it's popping into your mind. It's being experienced in your mind as strong or weak impulses, or not even worth your time. You are experiencing these things because of belief systems that you already have in another level of the field. In order to get to that level of agency where you really are operating in a non-physical, you must turn your attention inward. If you're outside, if you're looking outside, you're not getting anything, right? So you may think, oh, Jay, I'm watching these videos and I'm learning stuff. No, you didn't bump into me you made a decision on some level of your field, a part of you, hopefully a strong enough one, to entertain this kind of approach to your health and well-being. And so therefore, I am along that stream of energy that you are putting out there. The minute on some level of your field you decide to give more into your inner saboteur, into self-destruction, things like that, I may fall out of alignment with you, because I've set my intention to provide information that is going to be for your health and well-being, where it pulls you into a state of agency, where it asks you to do your inner work, where it asks you to exercise self-love and stuff. So if you're not on another level of the field generating enough of an energetic desire to at least emit a signal that's going to be strong enough to pull things like this information in, then guess who's not showing up in your YouTube feed? Guess who's not? Guess whose email? Well, I'm not emailing anybody. But guess whose email from Jonelle is going to get buried. You're looking right in your inbox, but your eyes keep skipping my email because there's not enough vibrational energy and desire in your energy field to allow my energetic frequency to break into your world, right? So always remember, it is you, and you at all times. So if you don't like the different reflections of you that you're seeing in your world showing up as different people, places, things, situations, ideas, then guess who you have to look at? You have to go back to you and understand that everything in your world, the people, places, things, situations, ideas, the forms are literally molecules and matter that have arranged or been arranged by what? Your consciousness, right? So that's kind of the level that we're playing at here. And this is not about getting stuck in this idea of victim consciousness and I'm blaming the victim and I this and that. That is more of a reflection of where you are along the narrative, along your healing journey. If you just got run over by a bike and your leg is broken, you don't want to hear in that moment that you should have looked left and right, or that you were self-sabotaging because you didn't really want to go to that job interview, or you were acting out because you were angry at your father, it's always father, and you wanted him to pay, and so you wanted to become, right? It's not, you don't want to hear that at that moment. You're just like, can I get my leg? Can I get some attention? But when you're ready and you really worked through some stuff and you really looked at yourself and you're like, oh my God, well, I realized that I woke up that morning feeling angry at the world because I had an argument with my dad. We're just going to roll with the dad situation, 22 minutes, 22 seconds. I was angry at my dad, and I realized in hindsight that I was on a self-destructive tear that morning. I ate 2 bags of potato chips. I drank coffee, no milk. I don't know. Is that destructive? I don't know. And I didn't call back my chiropractor, and I actually didn't even work out that morning. I just went out in a huff and a puff, and I didn't even say good morning to the gardener. And like if I look at that, I was already on a pathway. So when I walked into that street, I wasn't paying attention. And you know what? I realized I was actually looking for a fight. I wanted to pick a fight with somebody. And maybe I didn't, but you know what? I sure as hell gave off that energy, because people later on were asking me, hey, was everything okay? You were kind of like stomping around the room and, stomping on the street. I didn't even, and then I realized they're right? So you see, there's a lot more that goes on in our life. There's a lot that we are contributing to our own reality that we're not realizing. And the guides are pointing here. This is us right now talking about this. Remember I said the guides are coming in, a new set of guides are coming in to chat about it, right? Talking about it. Let's talk about it, right? Let's talk about it. So if you want to talk about mastery is always going to lead to you. If you're watching these videos, which is great, we all do it, we all watch, all sorts of videos, but you're watching videos with titles like Chosen One, they hurt you and now they're going to pay, God is going to show. Listen, I'm just going to pull the plug on that, because immediately when I see those videos, for example, they're great. They're serving a part of something. They're giving I wouldn't say that they're leading you to your highest. Everything leads to your highest, but in that moment, the question is, what are they feeding? They're not feeding your inner desire to make headway. They're feeding the part of you that still is in victim consciousness and still feels invalidated by the universe, still feels unseen, still carries anger, still wants to be besting someone, still needs to have their story told. Because you're just going to videos that will teach you or show you, not even teach you, show you, but reflect back to you what it is that you're actually asking for. I feel slighted. I want to go watch a video, or I want to go meet up with a friend, or I want to go watch a movie, or I want to go whatever it is that we want. These are just forms. But whatever it is that I'm choosing to do in this moment, whether I'm doing it consciously or unconsciously, is going to have an emotional currency exchange. And that exchange is going to give me a feeling that I need, which is validation. And that's how people end up stuck in YouTube videos that are just talking about things that have nothing to do with them. That person hurt you and now they're going to pay. No contact. What are they thinking about? Oh, these two people are plotting against you. That person's working spell work on you. This, that, all of that is part of the world. But it will only be the part of the world that you call in if that is the level of energy that you want to be in. And it's not even about, oh, this is a higher or lower level, although there is a frequency energy difference. It's about being in your place of mastery. And your place of mastery gets you to realize, what am I consuming? Let's look at the title. What am I doing? And why? What am I calling for? And any licensed therapist or a friendly local reader worth their salt, or even just an observant friend worth their salt, will say, hey, touch you on the cute shoulder. All of a sudden I see rainbow energy coming in with that touch. Hey, I see a part of you calling out for attention, validation, love, to be heard, to be seen, to feel vindicated, to feel right. The list goes on. And they will call that to your attention, and then they'll ask you to speak on that. And once you feed whatever that emotional need is, guess what you no longer have an appeal for? You no longer care to watch any no contact videos. You don't care about who's doing spell work. You don't care about which light worker or starseed you are. If you're longing for a place of home, you don't have a sense of belonging, whether that's legitimately from beyond the stars, as I saw, 27 minutes, 27 seconds. In some cases it is. In some cases it's just you were a neglected child. It all goes in together. It almost doesn't matter what your story is. It's look at the emotion, look at the energy, look at the vibration that you carry, because we're all equalized through that. You're either emitting or emitting strong energies of self-love, or you're emitting strong energies of self-destruction. Either or. And if you are mostly self-destruction, you will see that in your life. If you're mostly self-love, you will see that in your life. But the reality is, we're both. So we're like a garden hose. This is like a fire hose. Self-love, self-hate, self-love, self-hate. And that every now moment, that keeps switching back and forth. Now you're getting a manifested chaotic life where you have some friends who treat you well, some friends who treat you like dirt. Some opportunities are good, some opportunities aren't. You find a house that's great and then you hate it after. You see what I mean? So it's you. You have to clean up the stream of energy that you're emitting. And you do that by asking yourself, where am I right now? What am I being right now? What is my need right now? And this is why shadow work is so important. And I'm not just saying shadow work because that's what I do, because we do that here, me and my spirit team. So hit us up and we do it with love and super cute hot beverages, right? But we let you know, hey, let's talk about it. Because we're seeing here in your digestive tract, there's an energy that's located there and it's this color. And when I touch it and we feel it, energetically and the energetic anatomy, these are the words that are being associated. This is the person I'm seeing associated with that. These are the lifetimes associated with that. But let's cut to the chase. Here's what your inner child is saying. And either way, let's talk about it. That's the counseling part, so that we can dissolve that. Because at the end of the day, anything that any affliction, anything that you see in the physical, even my cute little hands that you're witnessing in the physical, these are reflections of your inner state. Period. You change your inner state, things fall in or out of alignment. That's it. You can have a toxic inner state and you will meet Marvin, for example. Marvin is going to be coming along that toxic stream of energy. So guess what? You want to get rid of Marvin, but if you don't clean up that energy, you're going to find Julia, and Julia is also coming in with that toxic stream of energy. Guess what? They're both liars. Why? Because you are not being authentic with yourself. You're lying to yourself. But I'm not a liar, Jay. Everybody in my family was liars, but I wasn't. And then we look into your energy field and we see that past lifetime or those last 6 lifetimes where the theme of honesty is something that you've been working on for a while. Now let's talk about it. And let's look at the reality, the physical reality that you have made for yourself from a place of agency. And let's talk about it. How can we shift things? So in the month of January, Spirit is asking you, well, quite a few things, but this is just ongoing work that we should all always be kind of doing. And it's not even to say that we're not perfect, because everyone or every being is made in the image of perfection. This is my belief, God bless. Who the hell am I though? I don't know, but this is my current belief, that we are all perfect as we were made. The issue is we have chosen to believe otherwise. And as sovereign beings, you're so sovereign, you're so loved, and you have so much agency and so much choice that Spirit's like, listen, you want to be out here having those beliefs, do you, boo? But we know that you never separated from God, because where else would you go? That's it. Yeah, we can come and go in the Garden of Eden, we'll say that figuratively, but we know from a higher level, where are you going? There's only this. Where are you going? Right? I am God and there is no other. That's you don't even get caught up in the religious part of that, because that's man-made. The point of it is there's all that is. And if there's all that is, there is no other. So if you think that you're leaving the kingdom, religious talk, if you think that you're leaving all that is, whatever talk, to go somewhere else, this is the issue at the mindset. You're having a false belief. You are now dreaming, basically. Because where did you go? Well, So you were seeing this, that, and the other. You're seeing 2. Who's that? Well, that's Billy. But there is no Billy. Everybody is one. We're just one. You're just having an experience of having your own consciousness, fragmentation, as different from somebody else. And it's made more solid by the existence or the experience of physical matter pertaining to the 3D world. When you're out of the body, it's going to become, out of the 3rd dimension, which is very physical, it's going to become much easier to get back to a place of this idea that oneness is, whoa, okay, I get it, right? But while you're here in the physical, it just makes it that much harder. And so that's why if you're ever doing your inner work, you're ever working to deprogram, that's all this is. That's all healing is, by the way, just deprogramming. When you're getting to that place, you might as well close your eyes. You don't need to have them open, because what you see is only going to ever be a carbon copy of what has already taken place in a now moment. So practically speaking, if you wake up in the morning and you are feeling thirsty, hey, don't even say, I'm thirsty. Of course, go get yourself some water, please do, God bless, because now you're operating in this 3D world, so you get yourself water, but you affirm to yourself, I'm quenched. I'm like, what's the word? I'm quenched. Because guess what? On another level of the field, in the now moment where you are quenched, you are quenched. That's it. That's period. That's it. So please understand, you're just having 2 experiences. One, in the physical, is a past manifestation. But it seems like now, like when you're watching this video, I've already made this video in the non-physical. And then when I sat down to make it, it had already been done. And now it's coming to pass in my physical. Now when you're watching it, it had already been done. And then it was done in your past, which was my present now. And now in your present, which is now my future. Right? Do you see what I mean? But it's just different stages of noticing and physicality. But at the end of the day, nothing in the physical can ever be creative. It's just coming to pass. So if you want to create, and if you want to get on board with making more informed decisions, getting to the real you, I would invite you to start to do your inner work. And again, you might as well close your eyes to do that. A nice shortcut, because this is where, it's where the chink in the chain is just to remember that you are lovable. Oh, and that takes lifetimes for us to arrive at. Just I said that, I looked down, it was like 34 minutes, 56 seconds, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good Lord, right? It takes time. That's why the wizened sage that you come across randomly in some hermit end of the forest will look at you and you're like, hello, and you don't even know what to say, and he's like, or she's like, love yourself, and you're like, what? And then at age 82 you get it. You're like, oh, right? Oh my god, the wizened sage who looks remarkably young and some hermity edge of the forest, love yourself. You're like, what? 35 minutes 35 seconds. 35 8 8 8, love yourself. What? Oh my god, 35 minutes 44 seconds 8 8. You see the point? Anyway, they're too much. The point here, now they're pointing out 9 and 1. There's that 8. There's that 8. The guys are not coming to mess around right now. To summarize so far, what I'm trying to tell you is in the month of January, you are continuing on with your levels and your learning in mastery. Yeah, you are the master. The question is, how would you like to maneuver this dream that you're in? Look, we're all in the dream already, meaning that we all, on some core level, are entertaining the belief that separation is real. And you see the evidence of that because you have this idea of God being outside of you. You have this idea of your friend Marcy being outside of you. You have this idea that death is real. You have the idea that you can't fly. All these ideas, they're ideas that are not real, but they appear to be real because you have such a strong, we have such a strong attachment to that idea being real on such a deep level of our energetic field that we have literally manifested ourselves into a false reality. Now, the whys and wherefores are not for us to care about. That's getting into discourse, and I'm not really a fan of discourse because I think that it's so heavily man-made, it just pulls you into all different directions, and we don't need to go there. At the end of the day, you just ask yourself, in this moment, the thought I'm thinking, is it a thought of self-love or is it one of fear? Is it self-love or is it self-hatred? And self-love, I mean, this is the journey, right? But self-love, you may think in the morning, oh my gosh, I'm so tired, I want to sleep late. But if I sleep late, then I'm just going to, be a loser and I don't take things seriously. And I'm harsh inner critic, self-hatred, right? You may even try to spin it, oh, but if I don't get up, if I love myself, I would get up and I would go to work because I would get money to protect myself and to do better for my children. That could even be along the line of self-hatred. Because what are you doing? You're treating yourself as subordinate. And you are looking upon yourself as what? Guilty. You're doing something wrong. Period. If you are watching yourself and you're like, I'm doing something wrong, please, please, please be mindful that you are on a slippery slope to head into, or you're already into the realm of what on a deeper level is self-hatred. It may not seem like self-hatred here at this level because we're way down here. After the braid has already been braided, we're way down here. But when you understand that it's up here that you start to braid, if you've ever had a braid in your hair, you know what I'm saying. You could tie that really tight. And now, if you've ever had very tight braids, you're in agony. But by the time you're down here, yeah, it looks good. It's yep, everything's matching up, but you're in pain. And you're so used to the pain, you don't know it. It even looks good. People compliment you on it. But the minute you unravel it, the pain is gone. So the point is, you have to start getting used to, or you have to start honing the ability down here from this conscious mind space, reflection is what they're showing, you have to start learning to identify when you're actually in pain. Is that person breadcrumbing you? You're in pain. Is your boss berating you? You're in pain. Did that person just come up to you and your friend and only look at your friend and ask them for directions and you felt a certain type of way? You're in pain. Are you here overeating on the couch? You're in pain. You may not realize that you're overeating because of something that happened 4 lifetimes ago, but that's not your problem. That's not what you need to focus on. You focus on the here and now. I'm in pain because look at my life. I'm experiencing pain, right? So look at your partner right now. I'm so sorry if you and your partner are watching together. 40 minutes, 4 seconds, 4004. Just putting that out there. But look at your partner to your left and right. Are they a reflection of your pain or are they a reflection of your joy? And I don't mean because they just bought you a new car, that's joyful. No, that has nothing to do with joy. This is an inner thing. And so what we're doing is when you start by starting to identify where for reals, you're actually experiencing pain, existential pain, then you can start to go inward and understand. This is the shadow work. This is doing that inner stuff. This is about surrendering to the universe. All you need, 40 minutes, 40 seconds, is a little bit of willingness. And I mean a little bit. That looks like, all right, yo, God, I don't know what to do, though. But whatever, I'm cool. You just, show me something. And that's it. That's enough. You can even just say, okay, I'm ready. You can say, all right, Lieutenant Dan, you do Lieutenant Dan, you want me? Come get me. I mean, that would be too much. But you can do that. Or you can just say, I'm curious. All right, show me what you got. No one cares because language is form. No one cares what you say. You want to curse God out? Go ahead. God's here because it doesn't exist in that level. The anger and stuff is all down here, and it's all a result of that tight braid where you are choosing fear at some higher level of the field. Okay? So I hope I'm not losing some of you guys. It's all over the place, but I'm just trying to show you that at this point, the messages that are coming through, as usual, and it's for everybody, but I noticed that Spirit tends to pull people in who have service contracts to look at my work. And as you know, they're saying be ready so that you can start doing whatever it is that your higher self wanted you to do starting around April and May. And I don't know what that is. That's the realm of a personal reading. And of course, you know where to find us, right? But part of that readying process is you going inward. Because if you're not going inward and you're just, kind of wandering around, then you're being a certain way and you're not conscious and mindful about how you're being. So the idea is get to a place where you're mindful about yourself. What are you doing? Why are you doing it? Where is this coming from? Are you still in gut reactionville, or are you giving yourself the grace, capital G, to have the gut reaction, but to pause so that you can look at that gut reaction and then you can make a conscious choice. Otherwise, without that mindfulness and that reflection, boom, you're just going from A to B. A to B. What did you say about my mother? Boom. Right? Oh my God, this person just said something. I'm upset. I'm angry because I'm making it mean this about my mother. And I'm taking it personally. And I'm making what someone thinks about my mother, what I'm thinking that they're thinking about my mother, mean something about me. Because at the end of the day, you may not believe it, but it has nothing to do with your mother. It's what you're making some external thing mean about you. But when you get deep enough into your self-work and your self-worth, with TH, you realize, oh my God, that person who said that thing or did that action, they were mobilized into my life by what? By whom? Was it God? No. It was your own energy. You were entertaining an energy at a higher level of the field, at another level of the field that is fear-based. And once you have that tight braid, that fear braid, it's going to literally arrange the matter around you. That's what it is. When you start to observe light, guess what? It starts to take what? Form. So if you don't like the form that you're experiencing, people, places, things, situations, ideas, emotions, thoughts, existential drive. We already know your emotions come from the thoughts you think, and the thoughts that you think come from your existential drive. If you have an existential drive to be the best, guess what? You're going to have thoughts that now are aligned with the spectrum of superior, 44 minutes, 44 seconds, and inferior. You're going to have emotions that make you feel happy or sad depending on where you think you fall along this line, the spectrum that you made up based on some existential drive. But by that time, when you're having this existential drive to be the best, that's coming hot on the heels of a fear-based thought that you can, that you are capable of, that you could ever be inferior. That's the problem. That's the false belief. If you really understand and you remember oneness, that there's never been a separation, where did you go? You didn't go anywhere. God is in you. There's no outside. There's none of that. You're in it. You're sleeping under some tree in the garden that you never left. Do you understand? But because you had that original idea at some level, and we don't care who put it into your ear, what apple you ate, it doesn't matter. That's discourse. Okay? The point is, here you are entertaining split consciousness, whereas everything was fine, and then you had this false idea, boink, in what? Lack, inadequacy. And because you had that, now it's given rise to these existential beliefs, this false identity about yourself, and the thoughts that brings up, and the emotions it brings up, and God knows it, the gut reactions it brings up, and then the actions that you take, right? And whether or not you even choose to be conscious of any of that, this is lifetime after lifetime after lifetime after lifetime of cycling through the same stuff. It's, dare I say it, samsara? What are you attached to? False belief, right? So the guides keep pointing here. They're like, we're teaching you guys, we're teaching you. And I'm like, I'm taking notes too, right? But if you know, I always go back and watch the videos. But they're teaching you here to disconnect from the source of your pain. The source of your pain is not your father. Don't kill the messenger. All right, I'm sorry. It's not your ex-wife. I'm sorry. It's not that guy who attacked you in the night. I'm sorry. I understand. I get it. It's not. It is your false belief in your energy field, on some level of your energy field, that you can be, that you're capable of being inadequate. That's the problem. It's lack. Way up here, and you thought you're in here having this lack idea, so you tie that braid very tightly because you think it's going to unravel, and if it unravels, now you're a loser. Do you understand what I'm saying here? So you tie it, and now you're in pain, and the whole world sees that beautiful braid, and you're used to the pain now, when the truth is you've been going through lifetime after lifetime after lifetime experiencing these things, and now it's time to clean it up. Okay? That's it. Spirit. It's time to clean it up. So if you are attracted to the work that I do, and especially if you're watching this video, and especially if you're still watching, thank you, 47 minutes, 59 seconds in, before I put the opening and ending credits. If you're still watching, then chances are, well, not chances are, that means that you're a vibrational match to service contracts, and that you are a vibrational match to cleaning this up at a higher level of your field. This is not entry level healing here. This is about, hey, you want to get the work done, you really want to do it, then put down the glass jar and the name that you put in there, and freezing and the burying and the crystal and the this and that. You can do all of that, yes. But always remember, all of those are form anyway. You can light the candle, go for it. But the thing is, you, on some level of your field, you're still putting external properties out there. 48 minutes, 48 seconds. You're having the idea that something outside of you has a stronger will to direct your reality. So therefore you light the candle. You use the Lemurian crystal, although we do love Lemurian crystals. God bless. I love it too. Here's one here. It's great at recording information, all sorts of stuff. But don't sit here and say that that is going to heal you. It's not. You heal you. And the only way that you heal you is you change your perceptions. You change your perceptions not by anything you do. There's only one thing that you can do to actually change your perceptions. And believe it or not, I kid you not, it is just to have the willingness to have it changed. And that willingness is a little bit of willingness. It literally looks like, all right already, let's see what you got. It doesn't have to be like, I have gathered these winds from the Caspian and the sands from the Danube and this, and I've brought it into this bowl, and I'm blowing these smokes, and it doesn't have to be that at all. It's you making a decision at a higher level to get that work done. What's the work? Change your perception. That's it. All right? So today, I guess, if I were going to summarize this long talk, I would say that if this message is for you, you are being called, once again, if it is your desire, and if this is the method with which you'd like to do it, you're being called to surrender to your awakening process. And I promise you, it is not as difficult as you think. The only person that you are contending with is yourself. That's it. And you may say, but Jonelle, you, and I'd be like, oh my God, what? You're like, how could you say that I don't want, you don't think I want to change? You don't think I've tried to change? How much money have I spent? How much, right? But then when you come gently into our I guess, Zoom session? I don't know. Zoom session into our Zoom offices. We will show you where in your energy field, where in your mentality, it's all of mind, because you're just consciousness. You're not a body. It's mind. Where in your mind you are actually not doing what it is that you think you're doing, what it is that you think you've been paying for, what it is that you've been thinking you've been watching all these videos for, what you think you've been doing all these exercises and eating all these antioxidants, all these things that you have been doing in the name of self-healing and moving and working and all of this. Yes, keep it up. But the more that you keep investing in the idea that there's something outside of you that has to be done, instead of remembering that, hey, it's only an inside job, because there's only inside. It's only inside. There is no outside. And if you're looking outside and you're not seeing what you want, then based on the reality, you must say, if outside doesn't exist, there's only inside, and I just have the perception of outside because it's a carbon copy of what's going on inside, and I'm not seeing outside what I want, then maybe I'm missing something on the inside. And if you are going to say, no, Jay, I'm not missing anything because I've done everything, then I would invite you to consider, how could you see yourself as having done everything when in reality there are things you know. Yeah, I know that. There are things you know you don't know. Oh shoot, yeah, I don't know that, and I'm pretty sure I don't know that. There are things you don't know that you know. Oh my God, I totally did that. I didn't even know that I could do that. I guess I do know how to do that. Wow. And then there's that fourth category of the inconceivable. It's things you don't know that you don't know. For you to say that you know everything, and I'm out here just giving you what's coming through me right now, and I don't know everything, right? But for you to say, I know everything about myself, I've done everything, and nothing works, immediately I want to give you a super cute hug and have a hot beverage with you, but I'm chalking it up to understanding that you're speaking from your emotion and you're not speaking from reality, because reality is telling me you don't know everything. How could you know everything, let alone about yourself? Especially if you're not a reader and you don't even look into your energy field and you do all that stuff. How could you know? Because that category of the inconceivable, things you don't know that you don't know, is out there. And anytime that is out there, that means you literally cannot know everything there is to know about you, right? And on top of that, you're in a mood, understandably, you're in a vibration, you're in a belief system that is self-destructive, right? It's an emotional call for comfort, for nurturing. And we do that. Ding! Compassion. Come find us. We will hug you and point it out and let you know. And it's not about you're doing this, you're bad, you're wrong, this and that. No, it's like, hey, let's take a look under the hood so that we can see what's going on. When you start to see what's going on, guess what your next task is? You literally need only say, oh my God, let there be light. This is the love. Only love is real. Let there be light. When we do healing stuff in the energy field, and they're saying in the world, the guides are pulling in the world, 54 minutes, 44 seconds, that's at 5444. When we're doing healing work in the world and in ourselves, mirror reflections, all we're ever doing, my friends, is directing loving energy into it. It's light energy into it. That's it. It's light. So when you say, let there be light, that is your will aligning with the will of the higher power, of the creator. Because guess what there all is? There's only light, but you will look around and see form because your consciousness has projected differentiation onto light waves, and the particles and the molecules and all of that are arranging themselves to reflect back to you what? Your ideation. You may not know where inside of your mindset has to do, what inside your mindset has to do with the oil drilling over here, or the genocide over there, or the religious war over here, or the murders over there. And in this lifetime, 55 minutes, 55 seconds, you don't have to. We don't need to get that deep. But what you do need to understand is that the world that you are seeing, experiencing, witnessing, because trust me, there is so much in this planet that you have not even seen and will not even see in this lifetime, because you won't even have a concept of it. Oh, you didn't know that there was underwater basket weaving triathlon with shoelaces and chewing gum in the hair, and you have to give someone a haircut at the end and the winner gets... You don't know about that? How come? How could you not know about it? Because you're not a vibrational match to it. There's nothing in your energetic field that is strong enough to pull that into your reality. And then we have this idea of soul contracts. It's not for you this time. So my point is, if you're thinking and you're breathing and you're living separation, oh, the news is outside of me, that neighbor is outside of me, that domestic row is outside of me, that genocide is outside of me, that person stealing all that money and doing insider trading is outside of me, then I have news for you. It's only able to make its way to your eyes because there is enough of a vibrational match in there to align with that. Okay, now then that's a realm of a personal reading to be like, well, what about that? Well, when you look into your energy field, you realize, oh, I see that I was a victim in similar circumstances, similar ways in this lifetime, 10 lifetimes ago, whatever, and it's now coming up for me to heal it because it's ready to be healed. The change in perception is ready to occur. That's all healing is. The deprogramming is ready to occur. The braid is ready to unravel. And that's it. And so this person now shows up in my life. This news report shows up in my life. Whatever blah, blah, blah form shows up in my life and it's a vibrational match because now I'm angry about it. I'm upset about it. I'm emotional about it. I'm happy about it. This is emotional because this is a vibrational match. There is a match. Because let's clear it. Boom. Okay? So long story short, after the long story, is that if this message is for you, this is yet another continued call from the last few months since kind of October to do some inner work, right? Do some inner work. And we're pushing you a little bit to realize that what you see outside of you can only ever be a reflection of what you carry. And what do I say when I say what you carry? What beliefs you carry on the inside. And these beliefs are false beliefs. That's why we see suffering. But the thing about it is that the more that you work on the self-love, I'm telling you, the self-love, and I know it's hard because I'm still doing it 10 million lifetimes later, but the more that you work on self-love and the idea of your worthiness, You don't have to go into your past lifetimes. You don't have to know that the reason why today you won't allow yourself to take a higher paying job and you keep self-sabotaging in relationships, or you keep getting this person is not because of you at all, right? Because there's nothing wrong with you. But it's because of a false belief that you picked up 5 lifetimes ago when you did something to somebody, and you've been carrying that guilt, and so you've been punishing yourself and ever since in these lifetimes, and it's always an opportunity for you to heal, but you keep thinking that it's your fault and you're a horrible person and this and that. That's the healing. You have to get the healing done. Again, you don't need to know your supposed transgression 5 lifetimes ago. All you're being asked in this lifetime to do is notice, I don't feel good about this. Whatever I just witnessed, it may not even be you, maybe something else you saw in your community. I don't feel good about this. Let me go into some self-reflection. But for the grace of God, there go I. Always remember that. And that's when we don't throw stones, because we understand, but for the grace of God, there go I. If I didn't carry some type of energetic match, I wouldn't witness, right? Okay. So anyway, I'm going to close this because it's already getting kind of long, but for the monthly readings, I do like to do like the theme of it. And this larger theme is continuing on with healing for those of you who have service contracts, whatever it is that you've got in your soul contract. I mean, I don't know, whether it's to open a business or start some new training or something that's actually happening in your non-physical field. Maybe some of you on a non-physical level will be entering into some etheric schools of some sort, or doing some type of initiation work, or I don't know, right? God bless. But whatever it is, you will be starting to do some stuff. So the guides are like, hey, let's go ahead and clear some of our cache, C-A-C-H-E. Let's clear our cache. This is what we're doing, clearing our cache. And everything, I'm going to leave you this, is in the name of love. If you look out into your world and you're blaming, it's not yet in the name of love. Keep working at it until you see blamelessness in front of you, okay? In other words, keep working on yourself, loving yourself until you start to see those changes in perceptions, miracles start to come in. And suddenly the person who was your neighbor, the person you hated, now you realize is just some bloke that went through a trauma just like you and hasn't healed from it yet. And then all of a sudden the healing occurs, and now they're like just a regular bloke. They're no longer that enemy. Right? Sometimes that takes lifetimes, sometimes it doesn't, but it does require your desire, your little bit of willingness to make the healing journey. Okay? Anywho, long story short, if you'd like to work more personally with us, you know exactly where to find us. We do everything, and we would be happy to be of service to you. And until then, God bless you. Keep an eye out for the astro reels, and have a wonderful January. Bye!